Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we have another trade recap, actually. This is a trade I took last week on AUDJPY, AJ. I normally don't trade this pair heavily, but I like trading risk sentiment, risk on, risk off. And if you don't know what that means, I've created a hour and a half long free training on the Swing Effects website explaining the basics of fundamental analysis and technical analysis and a lot of different stuff. So the link will be in the description for that. But yeah, if you aren't already, do subscribe. The button's down below. And if you gain any value from this video, give it a thumbs up. But let's jump right into it. So here was the chart before I took the trade. And then I'll show you guys the entry and how I managed it, etc. So this is what the chart looked like. AJ has been in a massive uptrend here. AJ has been in a massive uptrend, and the reason for that is because of the risk on sentiment, meaning the Australian dollar gains strength when there's risk on sentiment, aka there's greed in the marketplace, and the yen loses value as a safe haven when there's greed, because greed is opposite of fear, and the yen is a safe haven, meaning when there's fear in the market, people buy it. So obviously when there's not fear, then there's no use for it, right? So essentially that's what's been going on, and that happened basically due to things are reopening, the initial COVID fear has died down, the stock market's been rallying, a lot of reasons for this, greed in the market. But this was actually a short trade, so I went short on this pair. And the reason for that is because this was fundamental, and then I wait for the technicals to agree with me before I take a trade. So fundamentally, we saw that U.S. elections are coming up. So we have U.S. elections in roughly a month, which causes uncertainty in the market and a little bit of fear, right? Because when things are uncertain, that can also cause some people buying safe havens, aka people will buy the yen and sell the Australian dollar. So there was that factor. There was also lots of U.S. and China tension, mainly due to Taiwan. So Taiwan is a little, it's a part of China, but essentially there was a dispute. China was threatening military action. They would have to solve they would have to forcefully, intervene in Taiwan with military power, and U.S. was selling heavy weapons to them, and so it caused a rift, and so that was another factor that would cause fear in the market, right? Two really big global powers at odds. I mean, they've been at odds, but this was current, and military was potentially involved, which will cause fear. Yeah, those were the main factors, and on top of that, COVID cases were increasing across Europe and some in Canada, and so lockdowns were happening, which caused more fear as well. So for all those reasons, not to mention the stock market. This was also a big one. The stock market was selling off heavily, which causes fear in the marketplace as well. And so because the stock market and AJ had been pretty correlated because they've been moving off of risk sentiment, which has also been helped due to major central bank easing across the world, and mainly the Fed in the US. But I'm just spewing a lot of stuff at you guys right now. Essentially, I thought there was some fear. We could see a move lower. And so now let's look at the technicals and see what's up with that. So what I like to do is I like to wait for market structure to agree with me, aka for it to start making lower lows and lower highs, right? I'm not just going to jump in just because I have an idea. I want the market to also be moving in that direction and agree with me, essentially, to confirm that I'm right? So I waited, and we got basically a break lower here, right? So we got a break lower, and that confirmed that there was indeed fear in the market, right? Because normally when it retraces, it just comes back up. It retraced, but then it failed, right? So it failed here, and then it moved lower. So it was agreeing with me at that point. So then I looked to take an entry, right? So let's draw up some technicals here, right? We had this major trend line that touched one, kind of 2, 3, 4 times, broke, and now it was retesting it. So that was a nice confluence. We also had a moving average right here. That was another nice confluence. We had resistance, right? We had resistance, it acted as support, broke, now resistance. So right there, that's 3 confluences for a nice short trade. And then we have a Fibonacci you could have drawn, which was right on like the 38 level. So very, very nice area to take a short. So I did indeed do that. My stop loss was up here, so 50 something pips. And then I was targeting, I was probably going to take some partial profits when it got down to there. And I was targeting about this area, the 61 extension. So yeah, that was the trade idea essentially. And let's see what happened. Wow, yeah. So immediately just sold off. And then we did get our take profit hit, but I never really fully get out of the trade. I take, I'll take maybe 50% or even more than 50% off, right? I might take even 80% off, but I'm always going to leave a bit running. So this would be the next place, this like major area that I would target. And we did indeed get there. And so I did actually fully close out of my position in this area. So it was an amazing trade, just went straight to take profit. And this is why I like to wait for the market to agree with me, look for a good technical entry where I can manage my risk clearly. And yeah, I find that gives me the best chances of success. But it's pretty stress-free, right? Because you do all the work beforehand. You do all the fun, you know the fundamentals. You wait for the technicals to line up, and you then just pull the trigger. It's really stress-free. And then once you put in the trade, you just wait, right? You don't have to do anything maybe for days at a time, and it'll just keep going in your direction. You'll be making profits, or it'll stop you out. Either way, you don't need to do anything. You're not actively staring at the chart, which is really nice, because then you can go and live your life, or do whatever it is you want to do. Maybe you want to make YouTube videos. I don't know, but it's really great. So yeah, cheers to this trade. It was amazing. And yeah, if you gain any value, give it a thumbs up down below. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should